Hello guys and welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. Once again I'm Greg and this is the Starting 11 show where we'll have a bit of a discussion and a prediction of who Carlo Ancelotti might start. Of course we host Rotherham in the FA Cup. It's an early round fixture. It's against the team who are struggling in the league below us. You know, we should be looking here to be able to beat them even with a B team out. And that means we've got a bit more experimentation with how we can look at the squad here. Some players who might not get game time otherwise, bring in some younger players. But that being said, the framework is not completely ours to play with. Ancelotti has put some stipulations in place at the press conference. The first thing is a list of players who won't play, definitely won't feature either through injury or a need to rest. That list is Jordan Pickford, Kenny, Alan, Delph, Gabamin, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. He's also put out a list of players who are back and fit and could feature. That is Luca Dean, Iwobi and James, all of which have been struggling but are now back to full fitness, which is great to hear because that's a lot of our most creative play coming from certainly James and Luca Dean. And Iwobi's not been bad himself, so it's nice to see him back in the fold. And then on top of that, the added layer is he has said Cenk Tosun up front will be happening. He will be starting. It's 2021 and I'm doing a starting 11 video saying Cenk Tosun will start up front for Everton Football Club. And he's also said that Godfrey will start at centre-back, whether that's to accommodate Luca Dean coming back from injury or what I imagine a lot of people will want to see is Nkunku going out there. But around those two players, let's go position by position and try and work out who might be where. Of course, for this one, it's going to be more a case of me trying to build a team that I think works and is balanced with young players and experienced players as opposed to a prediction, because that's a pretty impossible thing to do with a cup game like this. That being said, something that is quite easy is who's in goal. If it's not Pickford, it's got to be Olsen. I think it's maybe established what we all thought already, that Pickford's the main man and Olsen's the understudy. Maybe a month or so ago, they were going a bit more toe-to-toe. They were getting a game here, a game there, one each. But I think we all knew Pickford was the main man, and the fact that he's been told to rest for the league and Olsen will be given this one, I think just proves that. But it will be interesting to see what this means for Olsen being offered a new deal. I've heard that's on the table, or a deal to make his loan permanent. Let's hope he can perform, convince that to go through, and we see good things from him. Moving on to the back line. On the right, the debate is really Mason Holgate or Seamus Coleman. For me, I'm going to give the nod to Mason Holgate. He's the younger guy. He's got the fresher legs. I think we might not need Coleman's attacking prowess for creativity in this game so much. Of course, Coleman's very good at getting forward and putting the ball in. Mason Holgate's maybe a bit more defensive-minded as a natural centre-back. So for me, Holgate out there, and then he gives us a bit more bandwidth if we want to put him in the centre as the game goes on and bring Seamus Coleman on to offer something else. They're all puzzle pieces at the moment. Centre-backs, of course, we know Godfrey will be one of them. I think Michael Keane might start next to him. Of course, he was handed his first rest of the season, the Premier League game before this. First time he's rested, not started. So it'd be good to see him come in, because as much as I advocate for having younger, less experienced players in these teams, just to see in these sorts of games, just to see what people can do, it's always good to have those hubs of experience and quality in the team, just so that players can feed off that, the younger players learn from it. And at the end of the day, we still do need to win this game. So Michael Keane and Ben Godfrey, not Ben Gibson. And out on the left is the debate of Nkunku or Luca Dean. It's a tough one. Luca Dean, of course, coming back from injury. Is it a good time to put him back in? Are Rotherham going to be a bit more physical than a Premier League game you might come across? In a cup game like this, are we just asking to have him injured again just as soon as we bring him back? For me, I reckon best save him for the league. Give Nkunku a shout. Let me know what you guys think of that, though. Both for the Coleman debate and for the Luca Dean debate. Who would you have on the flanks? In the midfield, have a go with this. I'm thinking Doucouré, of course. As I said about Michael Keane, it's about having a hub of quality in there. Someone who starts. Doucouré looks like he's got, he's like the Energizer Bunny. He can just keep going. So I think he'll be fairly well rested. I'd put him in there because I think he's our best midfielder, and probably what he's going to do defensively might make up for the lack of experience, the lack of other experienced players I've put in this midfield, which might be harsh. I mean, the question I had to ask myself here with who was next to Doucouré is who is ahead in the pecking order? Is it Tom Davies or Andre Gomez? And at the moment, I think purely because of what Tom Davies does in anchoring the team, what he's done for the England youth setup, he's ahead in the team, and Sigurdsson's obviously pushed Andre Gomez out of the number 10 spot. Andre Gomez is a bit homeless in the team at the moment. He doesn't really have a position he just easily fits into, so he tends to come on for 30 or so minutes just to fill in the gap of either the deeper midfielder or the more attacking midfielder. So I'm thinking Gomez gets a nod here next to Doucouré. There's not a midfielder where you need someone like Tom Davies, or this isn't a game where you need someone like Tom Davies, because we're playing. We're not. I don't want to upset anyone by saying that Rotherham aren't quite the same quality, but of course they're struggling at the bottom of the Championship. I'm sure a midfield of Doucouré and Andre Gomez will be able to deal with whatever threats they're posing, and if not, then it really doesn't look good for Andre Gomez, does it? So that's my two there. Just in front of them, I'm gonna put Bernard in. He played number 10 for a few games early in the other cup, and I thought he played very well. I thought he played better centrally than we've seen him making cameos on the wing. Of course, he's had a bit of game time in the league out wide, and he's not impressed at all. I think this is the last chance to say, if you've got something to offer for the team, it's clearly not out wide. Do you have something to offer the team as a number 10? If you do, Bernard, prove it here, or else I'm getting Roma on the phone and I'm saying, take the lad. So a bit of a last chance saloon at number 10 for Bernard for me. Out on the right, I'm going to put Iwobi back in. I like what he's done this season so far, but I feel like he's still got a point to prove. Maybe he just needs to come out against Rotherham, have an absolute barnstormer, create, attack, disrupt, just do whatever he's got to do, and then keep that confidence up as he goes back into the league. And I reckon that could be the start of something for Iwobi, or build on what he's already put in place this season. I think it'd be quite exciting to see what he can do against a team like this, just to build on. Up front, we know it's Cenk Tosun, maybe a swan song for him, similar to, if you remember, Jelavic against QPR. I was at that game. In fact, I had a fiver on Jelavic to score a hat-trick, and if you remember, he rattled his penalty off the crossbar, which would have been his third goal. Wasn't sad to see him leave after that. Gutted. And on the left, Gordon. Any chance we've got to put Gordon in, give him some minutes and experience in a game like this, I say go for it. I think he's a quality player. There's a quality player in there. I can't remember who he started him against in the league. Can't for the life of me, but it was a game where he was strangled of being able to prove himself, of opportunity to show what he could do creatively and run at players, and he wasn't getting much service out there. So I think a game like this he can do a lot more. He can show a lot more. But that is maybe a slightly inexperienced side of the pitch. But I think that's my team, guys. I know I've mumbled and rambled on, but Olsen in goal. A backline of Holgate, Keane, Godfrey and Nkunku. Doucouré and Gomez with Bernard just in front, and a front line of Iwobi, Tosun and Gordon. What do you guys think of that? Am I on to something, or is that crazy? Let me know what your team would be in the comments. I genuinely really want to know with this game. I think there's so many different ways we could go with it, and other than Godfrey and Tosun, it could be wholesale changes from what I've picked there. So let me know. Let's hope this is just a little hurdle, no problem, through to the next round of the cup, and I will see you for the next video for the league. Cheers, guys.